Hello, and welcome to this new episode of the live series from Avantune. So, thanks for being with us today as well. And today will be a very interesting topics. The last time we connect in the previous episode of this series, we discussed a little bit of the smart working and how we at Avantune were able using smart working to put our people in a safe situation, avoiding any risk from the COVID-19 and so on and so forth. Clearly, smart working have a very strict connection with cloud, and that's the topic that we are going to discuss today. How cloud can and cloud adoption can benefits for any business, for every single person, and what are the benefits of this adoption of the cloud. But before we keep going, and let me introduce the new host that we will have today. And let me welcome Alexandra Uzelak of Marketing at Avantune. Hello, Alexandra.
Hi, Armando. Thank you. And thank you to all of our viewers who joined in this afternoon. Before we dive into all things cloud, I'd like to make a few introductions to our speakers this afternoon. You guys have met Armando, who's our CEO and founder of Avantune, and we're happy to have him join this afternoon. Next, we have Aziz Khan. He is the General Manager and VP here in North America. Welcome, Aziz.
Thank you.
And finally, we have Anurag Singh joining us, who is our Sales Engineer here in North America. Welcome, Anurag.
Thank you, Sandra.
Before we dive in, once again, thanks to you guys for joining us. And I'll just start off with some questions, and the first will be to Aziz, so we can get started. Aziz, you've spent many years as both a consumer and provider for cloud services. Can you get us started with why you are so passionate about enterprises leveraging the cloud service delivery model?
I'd love to, Sandra. Thank you. So the reason why I'm so passionate about cloud is, in a word, it just makes sense, right? And it's brilliant. Uh, one of the biggest proponents of cloud is the fact that it really democratizes the consumption of sophisticated IT. So what I mean by the democratization of it is the fact that gone are the days that if you were a big company, you could afford the best of the breed. Nowadays, you could be a company of two people and sign up for the same types of service that a large Fortune 100, Fortune 50 multinational can sign up for. And to me, as a career technology professional, that is one of the biggest achievements that we as a community and as an industry have achieved. That's really at the core of why I feel so strongly about cloud, because it really empowers the small to medium sized businesses that in the past would have a difficult time getting the best of the breed products that are out there. The second reason why I feel so strongly about cloud is that it really amalgamates and brings together the user community of the software products along with the technology professionals that typically deliver the products. And by that I mean that, go back, let's say 15 years where companies would write their own code in their IT departments and then kind of release it for consumption at a later date. And I'm not suggesting that users weren't involved in that journey, but a limited subset of users would be involved in that journey. Nowadays, with cloud, with provisioning being so easy, we can take entire subsets of departments and have them try out the product, and before any commitments are made, they can basically give their opinion if they like using the product and creating value by doing what they do to make things happen. So what that ultimately does is that the journey of the coalition of the willing is much stronger. And as a technology professional, one of the biggest regrets that one can ever have is that you've produced something and you've propagated it, but no one's using it. Cloud takes care of a lot of that. So that's the second point. That and I could keep going, but I'll keep it to 3 points. The third and last point I'd like to make is just the choices that customers have, and resultant from the choices that they have is the propensity of cloud service providers such as Avantune to do the very best that they can, because we know that our customers have choices, and the choices are easy to pick from. So if we don't do the absolute best that we are capable of doing, then we know that we could be at a loss, and we could lose a customer. So what it does is it creates an industry where there's an incredible amount of collaboration between the service providers and the consumers. And that again makes me very encouraged, because as a technology professional, we want to see this type of collaboration. We want to see this type of partnership. So I'm going to stop there, because, like I said, I could keep going, but I should let others speak.
No, Aziz, those are some great points, and actually, they're a great segue to my next question, which is for Anurag. Anurag, as our solution consultant engineer, could you please shed some light on the tactical advantages of cloud adoption, especially as it pertains to small and medium businesses?
Thanks, Sandra. So, I would want to start by saying that small and medium-sized businesses, they impersonate a growing role in the rise of the market for cloud services. Building an IT infra can be incredibly complex and expensive for new and growing businesses. So, limited resources, expertise, and time often constrain how much small and medium-sized businesses can accomplish. It's no surprise small and mid-market companies hesitated to adopt cloud computing, moving data, applications, and storage offsite because that increases the company's risk profile. Fortunately, the benefits of clouds far outweigh potential risks. As company after company has shown, we have seen with our customers, and I believe SMBs are ready to take the leap. The cloud for SMB offers the computational power previously reserved only for enterprise level organizations. And today, I believe this is a game changer. A study in 2019 by Microsoft found that 70 to 80% of SMBs will be using the cloud in some way or the other by the end of 2020. It's the crisis which has hit the world right now. Otherwise, we were moving in the right direction. And I believe this crisis has given the more opportunity for the companies to move towards cloud. So I would link the benefits of cloud with the adoption process of cloud. That's analysis, planning, adoption, migration, and management. That's how the companies go through. First things first, the on site infrastructure investment. For too long, the role of IT was seen as a cost center, the capex expenditures. The cloud for SMB enables them to offload this enormous upfront cost to better meet the current and growing needs of the business. So these costs are transferred to an OPEX model now, so which better suits the stricter cash flow of the SMBs. Accessibility being the other factor. So accessing the files and application necessary to do work used to be an office task. With cloud computing, it is everything has changed. Now employees can access documents, images, spreadsheets. Communication barriers have gone. Anything from anywhere, anytime. So when I go to my customers and offer Avantune solutions, ease of access is the first thing which I mention, and which catches the attention. Scalability for SMBs is another point which plays a great part. The cloud is vital for businesses growing quickly, whether it's scaling headcount, production, customers, or services. The cloud can satisfy business requirements in all directions very easily. In essence, the business can handle growing or dwindling resources. The cloud bypasses the obstacle of enabling SMBs to have more or less capacity based on the current and potential needs without having to predict the future outright. Agility and flexibility will be the next point, the advantage of adopting cloud. So most cloud providers have started to work on a subscription OPEX expenditure model, and SMBs do not need to plan years worth of infra investment with little or no data. So if the business is up, the cloud has room for the growth. If the business is down, costs will decrease to match the needs. So this agility gives the business a competitive edge. SMBs in particular rely on this advantage as changes occur. Example, you look at the holiday season, how the sales go up. And SMBs would want the ability to adapt and meet the need of the clients immediately. So this sets cloud-based SMBs apart from the competitions. Collaboration. The teamwork is the heart of productive and successful business, which is why the cloud is so important for the SMB. SaaS solutions like offered by Avantune, Genie Cloud, and Power offered enabled easy real-time collaboration on data, documents, and related analytics. So cloud tools propel web-based collaboration. The next advantage would be efficiency. So the efficiencies created by the cloud for SMBs are never ending. From work and process optimization to IT maintenance and monitoring, the cloud removes these monotonous and time consuming tasks from the business. Plus, there is carbon efficiency to consider. So research stats says that businesses that switch to cloud computing can cut their energy consumption by up to 60 to 70%. And that is a huge amount for these businesses to grow. The auto updates and security, backup and disaster recovery are few other points which I would want to cover very quickly. So maintaining servers takes a lot of work. With the infrastructure offsite, the cloud for SMBs offers no hassle management of technology powering the business. So cloud providers roll out regular software and security updates, leaving the IT leadership of these SMB businesses to focus on strategic initiatives to grow the business. Security remains a top concern for SMB considering cloud migration and the data that they keep. So most cloud providers probably have better security controls than most companies can give to their employees and to their data. And that's another advantage. Last but not the least, backup and disaster recovery. When we open small and medium business, uh, IT becomes very important, but at the same time, backup and disaster recovery are not a priority, whereas in the current environment, it is a necessity. So a solid disaster recovery strategy is essential in the digital age, and the cloud provides a seamless offsite backup solution accessible to business of every size. It's the perfect place to protect your data. So these being some advantages for SMBs, and I believe the customer that we talk to, they have taken these. We talk about these advantages to them, and this is what catches their attention, which gets us close to them.
Thank you, Anurag. It seems like the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages of adopting of a cloud service model. Speaking of that, Hermano, if we could hear from you for a second in regards to self-service, we live in an increasingly self-service world, and that extends to IT as well. Can you share some of the benefits of having access to cloud resources, self-service access to cloud resources?
Oh, absolutely, Alexandra. Thanks for the question because I think that these topics really reconnect us with what Aziz and Anurag were mentioning. Clearly, the cloud is a big advantages right now because company can do things a lot more easier. I mean, and this will bring them advantages first of all of less complexity, which is really the mission that we have here at Avantune. That's the mission that we create. The reason because we exist. I mean, our vision is what we call innovation without complexity. That is the will to bring to businesses the ability to use a lot more technology so that they can succeed, but at the same time, we want to remove all the complexity that we know and we recognize technology is bringing into businesses. So the reason for us to do this is to help all our customer prospect and in general everyone that want to approach new technology to reduce cost. Because everything that we just discussed, I mean the ability to do things more easily, the ability to have more secure environment, more safe environment for data, more connected people, at the same time brings in the on the table the topic of the cost, because to achieve all these wonderful and amazing solution, we all know there is a big investment. So clearly, large organization can afford to run a full IT department that will have the power to run their own infrastructure, their own hardware, to have a data center in some cases, or even more than one for disaster recovery and replication. But the reality is that we want the medium and size business, the small and medium business in general, to be able to get the most of the same technology of the cloud itself without all this complexity. And that's the reason, because we have designed what we call the self-service cloud. So we at Avantune have designed our idea of the self-service cloud to deliver any solution without any complexity, so that people can focus on their own business, on their own processes, on their own productivity, without having to master the complexity of technology itself. So let me, try to describe a little bit what we do at Avantune. We have two divisions. One, it's clearly the one that is an enabler for self-service. We invented and patented a solution called Power, which is a platform that can automate everything on the IT department. So this can be used to create self-service solution for infrastructure, for software as a service, or for anything that you want to do without the needs to really involving an IT department behind. But even more important than Power itself, that clearly is a very interesting solution with a lot of technology for everybody that want to automate IT and create IT provisioning, metering, monitoring, all those beautiful words. The other division that we have at Avantune, it's focused on what we call smart working, which is really the ability for us to provide business solution on the self-service, which will give the ability the people to use this self-service solution by themselves. And this is what we call Genial Cloud, that allow any business to go on our website genialcloud.com, register themselves, and start immediately using the business application that they need, no matter if it's our ERP, business management, general ledger, document management, workflow, analytics, AI, CRM. So they will find all the tools that really they need to run the business. But the beauty of all of this is that they don't even need to call at us. They can do it by themselves. They can just subscribe and create everything that they want, manage the solution by themselves. It's self-managed. And the beauty also is the fact that they can subscribe month by month. So there is not a full commitment to an investment. And at this point, connecting back with what Aziz and Anurag were saying, since this is 100% a cloud solution, a self-service cloud solution, you don't need to make any investment in technology. You don't need to make any investment in infrastructure. You don't need to make any investment in electricity, because sometimes people forget the cost of electricity to run IT, or even just the air conditioning to run IT, or even the location itself, the space that you need for running an IT department. So the self-service is really, in my opinion, the next wave of the cloud, because yes, there is a lot of cloud availability, there is a lot of buzzword around cloud, but in general, the ability to have a cloud that runs by itself, that you can just consume, go there when you want and use it when you want, and stop to use it when you want by yourself, I think is the next level of the thing that we were able as Avantune to bring in. So that's what I believe differentiate us, and in general, that's the difference that the self-service cloud will make, in my opinion.
Thank you, Armando. That is fantastic. And actually, you touch on a really interesting point there, because we kind of have some of the takeaways are, it's easy to adopt, it's easy to use, it's kind of the next wave of technology going forward. But one of my questions, actually, and Aziz, I'm actually going to pose this question to you, is what are the benefits from a decision maker standpoint? So from an executive standpoint in adopting cloud technology, what are the benefits of when employees come and say, this is a great idea, this is what we should do? And then for the decision maker, how would you encourage them to move forward?
Absolutely, yeah. So, Sandra, as a decision maker in any business, if you're running a business, you have to always be focused on ROI. It's a technical term that's overused in many ways, but The reality is the reason why it is used so much is all of business is about return on investment. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to be in business, right? So, um, if to use your example, if somebody is enthusiastic about a you know solution that they're looking for, from an executive perspective, I would ask the question, okay, so what is the ROI on this, right? And this is again where cloud comes in very, very lucratively, because what we can do with cloud is really pin down the ROI much better than traditional IT could have ever done it. Traditional IT had a lot of gray areas where it was difficult to first and foremost manage project costs to begin with. And then once you've actually delivered the project, one of the challenges would always become that, what is this actually doing for the company? How is it actually producing more value than it consumed. So with cloud, it becomes much easier to have those discussions because the actual costs are very definitive. As Anurag had mentioned earlier, it becomes an OPEX line item typically, where you've got a certain amount that you're spending for a certain value add service. The subsequent to that, it just simply becomes the productivity that you're yielding from that expense or that cost. Is it above or below that expenditure, right? So from an executive perspective, that would be a very key item that I would be enthusiastic about with regards to cloud adoption. The second thing, and I can't harp on this enough, and I've talked about it in my first segment, is the fact that if I'm looking at it from a broad view of an entire organization, I'm looking for user involvement, because what I don't want to do is spend even $1 and have it go to waste where nobody's using it. So with cloud adoption, right from the get-go, you can have people involved, like I mentioned, and you can do proofs of concepts with them. You can take them on test trials and so on and so forth. And then you can even do a very ramped up, sort of gradual approach to propagating the solution across the company. So the net result of all that is you can pull the plug whenever you want to, or if you want to keep going forever, you can do that too. So again, if I'm looking at it from an investment perspective, this becomes almost a no-brainer, because I can go about doing what I need to do at my own pace. Nobody's going to push me into anything. So let's use our own products, our Avantune products. I could provision 2 users right away for any company and let them have the usability for absolutely free, for them to try out. Um, that is wonderful. I couldn't do that if you asked me to write code and then deliver it, because it would make no sense. But here I can do that. If you're an SMB, think about that. A software vendor is coming to you and saying, in perpetuity, you can use 2 licenses as you wish, and have fun, type of thing, right? So if I'm an executive, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, my risk component, I've reduced it down to almost zero. What do I have to lose? Let me try it. Right. So again, cloud enablement does do that. Cloud adoption does do that. And again, seems like I talk in threes, but I'll stop by saying that the last sort of executive view is the fact that my relationship with my vendors are based purely on performance, right? So cloud typically comes with a concept called customer success, which means that the vendor is invested in their customers' ROI. So the adoption and utilization of the service is maximized, and it becomes a vendor problem, not necessarily only a customer problem. And that's dynamite, because what you're now saying is that, I'm not only just going to sell you what I have to sell, but I'm also going to ensure that you're successful with this. And I'll tell you, in Avantune, we run a pretty amazing customer success department where we are here to make sure that post signatures. We are here to make sure not just to support you, but also to ensure that you are getting the value that you are paying for. And if you're not, we'll ramp it down. And if you need something else, we'll modify it for you. We have that type of dynamic approach. We build everything that we sell, and we don't leverage anything from a third party, or unless it's some type of a hardware or something like that. Um, so we're truly here for the long run. And again, from an executive view, that's what you're looking for in a vendor. Gone are those days when you throw a license at somebody and you kind of hijack them for 5 years, 10 years, because there's no way out. This, we're talking about month to month, if that. And the costs are substantially low. So it's really exciting times, as far as I'm concerned, from an executive perspective, to adopt cloud. I'm going to stop there, Sandra. Otherwise, again, I'll keep going, right? So
No, no, no. I think costs are low, is something that everyone likes to hear. So,
yeah.
in
And
addition to
Sandra,
that, yep,
sorry, may I stop you because we have a question. So I know that I'm monitoring, so I want to take this question online and a response as we
of
promised. So
course,
I'll read, I was reading, so I can read the question and then maybe Anurag first and then Ziz can comment and maybe
Sure.
myself at the end. So the question is from Robin and he's asking for healthcare SMB, the cost parameters may be the same like other industries, but their security requirement will be of enterprise class. Could hybrid cloud help in this context? Who want to go first?
Yeah. Let me try that.
Yeah,
Let me take a shot
absolutely.
at it, because I
Yeah.
have dealt with hybrid cloud environments, and
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 sorry,
here's
and thanks Robin for the question. So everybody that is
yes.
typing question on chat, we will respond live.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Robin. So, very good question, and it's one that comes up often with our customer base. So here, if I understood you correctly, you're concerned about hybrid cloud. So you've got a mix of on-prem, and you've got some cloud adoption, and perhaps you've also got a multi-vendor environment where you've got multiple cloud vendors that are supporting you.
If
What
I
I would
if I may add, I
Yes,
think
Armando.
his question is around that he said that the cost parameters may be the same, but security requirement would be enterprise
Yes.
class. So I think what he's saying is that he think that for healthcare SMB is less planned. They go totally on the cloud, then maybe have some hybrid solution. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, so and again, going back to the cloud conversation, what you can do is you can really customize the security per your needs. So if you're meeting security requirements because of regulatory compliance, or just your own self-imposed security, you can work through whatever level is appropriate for you. Um, Cloud allows that. At least our products absolutely allow for that. We actually have extremely secure environments because we run our infrastructure with the choice of Azure or AWS or Google. And what we can provide there is their levels of security, which is world class. It would be very difficult for a small to medium sized business to actually secure their environments as well as one of those big guys can. Um, but again, you can tailor it the way you need to tailor it. So your on-prem can be wherever you need it to be, and your cloud, at least I can speak from an Avantune perspective, you can be absolutely assured that we will comply with all the security requirements that typically are available with all of the big cloud providers such as Azure and AWS, etc. I don't know if that answers your question, but I'm happy to carry on and discuss this with you.
Yeah, I will love to add a couple of things. I think yeah,
Sure.
clearly you can keep chatting, so we will see the response on the chat. But I think it's what you said. It's very interesting because I think the real benefits here at Avantune is that we design our solution also with a hybrid cloud in mind. So as you said,
Correct.
we have a full plan of scalable solution that can run, start from public cloud for people that really focused on, cost and easybility of the solution. But also we have plan that we call Privado, that it's our top kind of offering that goes in a your own bubble, so nobody can access those data, nobody can access the information, and you can totally manage that infrastructure like the way you want. Not to mention that Power as well, Gina Cloud is designed for hybrid cloud. So Power is clearly the tools that you can use for integrating something that you want, because in certain case, let's assume even if you are a SMB in healthcare, you may want to spin off a new piece of infrastructure for testing or for your lab on the cloud because you don't want to spin it off on your infrastructure. And this is something that we allow you to do with Power. While with the same platform, you can control and connect your existing on-prem infrastructure. So the benefits is that's of the hybrid cloud as well. I have to mention, and I don't want to take the job of Anurag if we want to go in, but I mean for Gina Cloud, our business application, we have what we call the proxy connector that let you run only the application on the cloud but keep the data on your prem, which we believe is the most important part, right? So if you want to keep your document or your database or your data on your prem, you can with our solution while not having the complexity of run and manage the application that will be just the on the cloud, that part. So I see hybrid cloud as a big potential for the future. I'm saying that there is not a cloud like one solution fit all.
Exactly.
I think that you need to tailor, and that's why we have a full range at the start from public cloud to private cloud to hybrid cloud. That's the response. So nobody have to think that there is one solution for everything. Public cloud may be good for certain kind of businesses, for certain kind of industry. Private cloud, clearly it's if you are a bank, it's probably the one. But a hybrid cloud can also, it's a very important player for many scenarios in my opinion. I don't know if Anurag, you
For
want to
sure.
add something.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, guys, that most cloud providers will probably have better security controls than most companies can get for themselves. Looking at the healthcare sector, one of the biggest healthcare clients that we have in Canada, we have been pushing them and been talking to them to move towards the cloud. And when we talk to them, we see the difference that they don't want to have the client data, the critical reports to be available on public cloud. Whereas public cloud also has its own security parameters. But yes, for those kind of data, they can always move towards the private cloud option. And at the same time, for the data which is not critical, which is not customer centric, that can be used on a public cloud, which is much cheaper than a private cloud. So this is where the hybrid option comes in for a healthcare sector, for a healthcare sector, where they have the data which is customer centric, critical. They don't want it to be accessed by anybody else. Whereas at the same time, they may have some documents and data which they want to share uh, with the public, like in the COVID environment right now. They would want to share those reports of the different kind with everybody and anybody. But at the same time, they are doing those restricted COVID tests supported by the government, and they don't want anybody to access them. So this is a good scenario for the healthcare sector to understand that hybrid cloud is a very good solution for most of them. But as Armano and Aziz mentioned, that one solution doesn't fit all. So even in the healthcare sector, we may have options where companies go either side. At the end of the day, it's a call based on the advantages that I talked about in the starting of this discussion.
Yeah.
Up to you, Alexander.
I was just thinking, obviously we love getting your questions. So just to, if you're not going to leave one in chat, but you want to continue the discussion afterwards, you can drop us a comment on our Facebook page, message us on LinkedIn, or you can just go to avantune.com and just contact us through there. We would love to talk to you. We have much more that we can say on the topic. And just to wrap up really quickly, and I want to say again, thank you to everyone joining us this afternoon. Um, you know, for all three of you, my cloud experts this afternoon, you know, Anurag mentioned earlier that about 80% of all SMBs have transitioned over to some form of cloud computing. Can you offer any advice to the remaining, 20% or so of businesses that haven't yet adopted any cloud computing or who might be on the edge and are leaning towards it? Any final kind of advice that you can provide?
Yeah,
Anurag?
definitely, Sandra. And I believe the current scenario, which is a global scenario, it gives us a chance, and it's shown us the way. The cloud is the way moving ahead. Everybody is sitting at home, and they are still able to work, access their resources, able to connect with people like we are doing right now. It's all been possible because of the cloud adoption, and the SMBs who are not yet moved to the cloud adoption, I believe just take that leap, take that one step, use an application. There are so many applications which are made for specific to SMBs, which are cloud based. You can just go for a trial. Even Avantune solution that we have those solution for trial for 1 or 2 users, and maybe if you like them, then you can move to 5 users or 10 users based on the users that you have. So I believe the first step is very important, and I believe the 20 to 30% that are still in the analysis state, I believe they are not far away to moving towards adoption to cloud.
Perfect. Thanks, Anurag. Aziz, you want to go next and then we'll wrap up with Hermano?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. The advice I would have for them is just, think about the cost of not going to the cloud. Think about what you're leaving behind on the table. I really kind of made it a point that I wouldn't bring up COVID-19 on this call because we should all just look forward and move forward. But it's a seismic event that's happened in the world, and I think it has demonstrated that the way forward, if we're going to be resilient about this, a big part of it has to be through technology. And if you're a small to medium-sized company that is kind of on the fence and you're wondering that is this the right time, should we do it, um, you know if now is not the right time, I just can't think of any other time, right? It is the time to ramp up your technology efforts because it's what's going to be a critical part of the recovery. Having said that, we as a company are here to help. We've got those 2 licenses that are available to anybody if they want to just try out our products. We are also about to launch a pretty interesting campaign, which I'm very passionate about, and it's about helping out other small to medium sized businesses that have been devastatingly affected by COVID-19. And it's a campaign whereby we are willing to give our software for absolutely free for 12 months, as long as you have suffered substantial losses, you've had to take some government assistance. We are here to help. That's the message here. We know the importance of paying it forward, and the only way that we are going to come together as a global community and surpass this and leave this behind us is by helping each other. So this is our way of helping out. And I want to, I don't want to embarrass Armano, but I want to thank him because he was instrumental in approving this. It's a big deal, and it's not easy for us to do, but it's something that we're proud that we're able to do, and I hope that there are companies that will get the message and come to us and start their technology adoption journey with our products, and they can do that for 12 months for free. So, details to follow. I think the website will have details in the next couple of days, and we're very excited about this campaign.
We are excited, and I share that with you, that sentiment, Aziz, with you. And I think it's so important right now, businesses helping businesses. And that's something I could go on about for a while. But to wrap it up, Hermano, any final thoughts on cloud adoption for SMBs?
Well, no, I'm proud of what it said because I can say that I authorized, but I mean the idea came from you guys. So and I'm very proud of my team because I think that businesses helping other business also is it's more like entrepreneurs helping other entrepreneurs, which is really the important is, right? We are a human being, we are people, and we want to help anybody that is facing this hard time. Clearly we were a little bit more lucky than others because thanks to our technology, the fact that we are a technology company, and by the way, the fact that smart working it's a big business for us. That's what we do. 80% of our business is around providing solution for smart working. I mean, we were lucky. We put our people. We discussed this in the past. I don't want to go over again, but I mean, we were able to put our employee at home before the lockdown, and we are still. For example, we have a big branch in Italy, and our people, even if they are releasing the lockdown, we told our people stay at home, don't worry, keep doing your smart working as you're doing right now, because that's what is the substantial benefit of the cloud. So it's ours, way to give something back. And try to help the way we can, because clearly we are helping a healthcare organization, but as well we want to help any business and entrepreneurs, giving what we can. So that was a great idea. So my last point on this, and sorry if I was a little bit too long, I think it's that the other substantial benefits that this COVID-19 put us in a situation that we have to face two big topics. One is the ability to provide tools that give your employee more productivity. So the ability to provide tools that they can use when they want, when they need, anywhere they want, in any device. And this was told many times in the past, but the reality is that the software, the solution were not ready. And that's our mission. This is what we're doing. We want really to enable your business to run the way you want. And then it comes the second big topic, cost. We all know that the world will not be the same. Revenue are, heavily hit but in any place of the world. And that's clearly the next step. If you run your own small and medium business, or even a large business, you know that your cost of the future will not be the same of the past. And while running a big IT organization, yes, you can, absolutely. But there are a lot of tools like the self-service and everything that you have that can help you to be more successful. That's really what we can do, and the way that I believe it's a big help for companies and other business in the future. So embrace the cloud. Why? Because there are benefits.
Why not?
Exactly.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Hermano. Once again, thank you to all of our viewers who joined us this afternoon. I know everyone's busy, and we're really excited to have you with us. And we'll be back next week with a new topic. And once again, we're so grateful for your questions, and we'd love to speak to you further, whether you just have a general question or just want to kind of chat about these topics further. Once again, visit our website, avantune.com, and click the contact button, and we'll be here for you. With that said, I hope everyone has a great rest of the afternoon or evening, depending where you are joining us from. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Genial Cloud, a smart business orchestration platform, makes working outside of a traditional office environment easy and flexible. Genial Cloud allows users to work from the cloud on any device without having to install any software. Users have access to applications that enable complete employee management, accounting, and approval processes via workflow and email. Genial Cloud offers web-enabled collaboration tools, document creation without Office, online scanning, and document sharing. online management of time and attendance, travel and expenses, accounting, sales, finance, and purchasing. Includes powerful data analytics to forecast sales results, project health metrics, track KPIs, and much more. Try Genial Cloud now to easily enable smart working for your company.